The city of Johannesburg was drowning in rain that evening. The streets shimmered under the dull orange glow of flickering streetlights, and thunder rumbled like a warning from the heavens. People hurried past, umbrellas tilted, coats clutched tightly, cars splashing through puddles as the storm grew stronger. It was the kind of night no one wanted to be outside. But amidst that storm, a small figure stood at the corner of an empty street. A little girl, barefoot, soaked to the skin, clutched a wicker basket filled with small loaves of bread. Each loaf was half wrapped in plastic, some already damp. Yet she stood tall as though this rain was just another day of work. Her name was Amara. She couldn't have been more than 10 years old, but her eyes, they looked far older than her face. Those eyes held stories of hunger, of courage, and of a child forced to grow up too soon. "Fresh bread, sir! Just $1!" she shouted, her voice trembling through the storm. The words barely carried over the roar of the rain. People walked by without looking, some shielding their faces, others pretending not to hear. But still, she called again and again, her little voice echoing through the night like a song of survival. Each time someone ignored her, she pressed her lips together, took a deep breath, and called out once more, "Please, sir, fresh bread. It's still good." She was hungry, cold, and tired, but her heart refused to give up. Somewhere in that downpour, she believed she'd sell enough bread to buy her mother medicine and her baby brother milk. A few streets away, a sleek black Rolls-Royce pulled up at a red light. Inside sat Ethan Moore, one of the richest men in the country, a billionaire who owned half the city's hotels and properties. Dressed in a black tuxedo, his gold watch gleamed under the dim light. He had just left a high-end charity gala where people spent thousands bidding on diamond watches and designer handbags for the poor. Yet, as he leaned back in his leather seat, he couldn't shake a strange emptiness in his chest. The rain hit the window like fingertips tapping for attention. As the car slowed near a corner, something caught Ethan's eye, a tiny silhouette standing alone in the storm. "Stop the car," he said suddenly. His driver hesitated. "Sir, it's pouring." "I said stop," Ethan repeated, his voice calm but firm. The car came to a halt, and Ethan rolled down the window. That's when he saw her clearly for the first time. The little girl with soaked braids, holding a basket almost bigger than herself. Water dripped down her face, yet her eyes shone with a fire that no rain could extinguish. For a long moment, Ethan just watched her. Something deep inside him stirred, an ache he hadn't felt in years. He saw himself in her reflection on the glass. A boy who once sold newspapers on street corners before fate turned him into a millionaire. He had buried that memory long ago, under piles of wealth and business meetings. But this little girl, this fragile warrior in the rain, uncovered it effortlessly. He opened the door and stepped out, letting the cold rain soak his expensive suit. The driver gasped, "Sir, you'll catch a cold." But Ethan ignored him. He walked toward the girl, each step heavy with realization. The closer he got, the clearer her trembling voice became. "Fresh bread, sir. Please, only $1." When she noticed him, she froze for a moment, unsure whether to be afraid or hopeful. Most rich people ignored her. Some even scolded her for begging near their cars. But this man's eyes were different, gentle, curious, and filled with something she couldn't name. Ethan knelt down to her level, his expensive shoes sinking into the muddy ground. The rain dripped down his face as he looked into her eyes and asked softly, "Little one, why are you selling bread in this storm?" The girl blinked, startled by his tone. "Because, sir," she said, her voice barely a whisper, "if I don't sell, we don't eat." Ethan's breath caught. Those simple words struck him harder than the cold rain. In that instant, time seemed to stop. The luxury car, the roaring storm, the glowing city behind them, all faded away. It was just a billionaire and a little girl, two souls from different worlds standing in the same rain, and neither of them knew that this chance encounter would change both their lives forever.